she operates that because I'm that bitch and the whole world is mine, I don't have to keep her right next to me. She's as long as she exists in this world, she belongs to me anyways. So what do I look like going out of my way to tie her down right here next to me? She belongs to me. So whether she's there, here, or there, she's still mine. It's no biggie. That's one of those moments where it's like, oh, you, you truly, you truly have thrown your ego to the side and have a higher understanding of how to be the best fucking narcissist in the goddamn world. Because that's what somebody like that would absolutely say. And it's one of those things where if you talk like that, I actually don't know if I would argue with you. I'm actually kind of looking at you like, yeah, honestly, yeah, talk that shit. Like, yeah, talk that shit for real. Like, oh, damn. Like, oh, shit. So I feel that. All right. I actually skipped a lot of stuff. I'm not going to lie. But episode 1 issues. Ha 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 ha. Episode 1 issues. Last thing we'll talk about is the quest board. Oh, the quest board was supposed to be the announcements. Wow, quest board. Back to the quest board, right? My big topic of today's radio show is people already hate Dan, and I want to know why. To see, I opened my eyes and I went on to Twitter, and I already see people calling Dan overrated over after episode 1. Truly blows my mind and confuses me at the same time. Very much Dan is one of those shows where the episode 1 was so on point and fire. I really don't know how you could have called it overrated. I don't see where there was even a downtime or an unused area for someone to say, wow, this show wasn't everything I thought it was going to be. It delivered in every way. The Momo is an interesting dynamic character. They showed her backstory with her grandmother in a beautiful way where you didn't have to sit there and listen to a long ass like flashback exposition. You really kind of got it in little droplets between their conversations, and then you get one flashback that's like 60 seconds long just to tie the entire thing together like a beautifully sewn polo sweater. And at the end, the payoff of everything they've been telling you is just so immense and earth-shattering that it's like, what? It's like, who knew? Granny was right the whole fucking time. And then you look at Ken, the other MC, his story is again told throughout the show through their interactions, told while showing you dope stuff in the background, and really told in a way where like you really can't you can't say it's boring or it's not interesting because they use Momo and Ken to play off each other very well. They use the two scenarios that they're going through to fill the audio space as they visually walk through each of their separate environments, and it just builds together to this insane double moment. The insane double moment of the person who doesn't believe in ghosts getting possessed and the person who doesn't believe in aliens getting abducted, and then them somehow through the cosmos of space, time, and sheer willpower crashing into each other to save each other is fucking insane. For someone to say that it's overrated, I think it's perfectly rated. I think it's rated exactly where it should be. If it's a show that's really not for you or not down your or not in your alley, or you feel like some of the subject matters and the themes were just a little too spicy for your mouth, just a little too, hot for the kitchen, then you got to get the fuck up out of there, man. I'm not going to sit here and act like that when she got abducted by the aliens and what they did to her and were going to do to her. I'm not going to lie. I was definitely disturbed by what I was seeing and what was going on. Without a doubt, absolutely fucking disturbed. But in the same breath, I can say I understand why I can't even say they understand why they did it. I understand where they were going with it. I understand where they were going with it. And it ended up, thank God, not happening. And the way they got saved was very, very poetic, right? And the way that they turned it around was beautiful. But I get that. I definitely get that. If that's not for you, I get it. But that not being for you isn't a reason to call it overrated. to say that, oh, it's being carried by the animation, I hard disagree. The dialogue and everything they're doing cinematically, it very much mattered to me. And the world building that they're doing is absolutely insane. When you actually entertain the fact that the occult things that they're talking about is actually real, it just opens up a whole door to like, oh, there's a lot of shit here. It's about to get way more fucked up. It's literally just going to get more fucked up from this point forward. And in my opinion, it just hit all the right notes. I don't understand nowadays why everybody wants to call stuff mid. Everybody wants to call stuff overrated. They want to say things are carried by one element or another. It really honestly sits bad. It doesn't sit well in my spirit because I know people will say things like that and just be completely disingenuous. If it's not for you, you should say it's not for you. If you did not enjoy it, you should just say you didn't enjoy it, and you should state the reasons why you didn't enjoy it. To call it overrated just because you want to big something else up, to call it overrated just because there was some themes and some subject matters that you weren't used to or didn't sit right with you, that doesn't make it overrated. That just makes it not for you or that person. It's insane to me that you can watch one episode of something and call it overrated. That's not fair. That's not right. That's why I say it's so disingenuous to me. I see people say Dan the Dan is overrated, and I want to know why. If anybody knows why, please tell me. Feel free to comment. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, Discord, any one of these places. Come through the live on Twitch at CrashOutKingDN, because this shit really has me crashing out. What do y'all think? Anything in the chat from anybody? Any questions? Anybody want to join the radio show and tell me why you think Dan the Dan is overrated? To be honest, I was sold when the girl sat in front of him when the other mobs are bullying him. I did like that. Oh man, don't mention be carried by anime without mentioning Demon Slayer. Damn, not gonna do that. I will leave the Demon Slayer people alone. I will not bully them. I can see why someone may not like it because they are closed-minded people. Simple as that. Oh, interesting. I got nervous of the aliens putting her in the chair. Me too. I'm not gonna lie. I was very disturbed by it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not an easy person to get squeamish or get disturbed, but there is some things that if it starts to happen, if I see it, I do get kind of uneasy about it because I don't like those situations per se. I can see the plot device and why they used it. I can see that it was supposed to be a scary but comedic moment because, again, the person who doesn't believe in ghosts gets possessed. The person who doesn't believe in aliens get abducted. The person who doesn't believe in ghosts, the ghost person says, "Let me gobble your wiener," right? And then the person who gets abducted by aliens, they're like, we want to extract your banana, and we're going to use a banana on you because we want to have these bananas so we can experience what it's like to reproduce. And it's like, oh, so everybody's just on some freak shit over here. Okay, good to know. That in itself is its own level of hilarity and funny, but it's only funny because the juxtaposition of how creepy and fucked up what's actually going is versus the reason why they're doing it and how they're getting away with it. So it's very much one of those things where it's like, I could see why some people are turned off by it, but to call it overrated after one episode, nah, you gotta come talk to me. Hey, you gotta come talk to me, man. Because you need to come inside, put you in a fucking headlock and give you a goddamn nugget and call you a fucking nerd. Because it's crazy to me. I feel like even if you don't like the scene, anyone who's watched more than 5 anime knows it could have been handled way worse. Absolutely way worse. And that still doesn't make it okay, right? And I think we can agree with that. That still does not make it okay, but it honestly could have been way worse. They could have just done it, right? Or they could have done it and then done one of those things where it's like, oh, it was only in her mind. It didn't actually happen. Like, they could have done a lot of fucked up things with it. But at the same time, the way they used it, I feel like they walked up to the line, they put one foot on the line, and then they just kind of teetered on it. And they're like, you know what? I'm not gonna go over this. And then they dragged their foot back off the line, like fucking the line up and like dragging the chalk of the line back with them. That's how much on the line they were. They like literally fucked up the line. They blurred the line, I would say, on that one. I think some people would disagree. I think they were right there. I think they were right there. They really only got away with it because the aliens were kind of funny and goofy as shit. And then realizing that the aliens really were just ain't shit, and having and how like she got help, but she ultimately saved herself. It was good. It was a disturbing scene, but I could see way worse things happen and alien abduction situation effects. You watch redo and get myself desensitized. Well, that's one way to fuck up your entire line of thinking. So do that if you would like to, but that's not something I would for one put myself through. But yeah, that is my beef of the week. Tell me what you think. Comment that down below. If you're on Spotify listening to this, go somewhere where you can talk to me and tell me, why do people hate Dan the Nan, and how can you already hate it when it just come out? Explain that to me, please, because it's one of those pain points that just don't sit on me. People already hate Dan the Nan, and I want to know why. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me, man. Absolutely crazy to me. But with that being said, this has been episode 1 of Sauce Maho Radio, where everybody has magic inside of them, but me, I got the sauce. Ooh, I like that. I think that's gonna be the tagline. Sauce Maho Radio, where everybody got the maho in them, but I got the sauce. Ooh, actually, is that pause? That might be a pause moment. I'm gonna keep that one though. But yeah, that's episode 1. I'm hoping to churn more of these out. This was fun to do, and I hope y'all enjoy it. If y'all have any takes, any comments, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and drop that down below and let me see what you think. If you're on Spotify, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch, Crash Out King DN, Direct and Nasty on most platforms. Why? Because nobody wants to be me. This who would want to be me. But with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. I'm your host, DN. This is Sauce Maho Radio, episode 1, week 1. We'll be back in the next one. And remember, keep your sauce to yourself unless you like. No, I gotta come with a good outro. Keep your sauce in the pan. Keep your sauce in the pan until you're ready to share. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I'm DN. This has been Sauce Maho Radio. And remember to keep your sauce in your pan until you're ready to share it. We're out this bitch.